Welcome to my market analysis and breakdown, just things I'm going to be going over for this week and in general. So right now I got the S&P 500 and I have the VIX pulled up. For those that don't know what the VIX is, the VIX, it is basically an inverse of SPY. It kind of just measures volatility, and also basically if the VIX is up, the market's usually down, and if the VIX is down, the market's usually up. So it's very useful to monitor the VIX at levels of resistance and support for possible bounces, and vice versa. The S&P 500, it's good to monitor. Um, it's good to monitor, both sides so that hey, maybe this resistance point I don't want to try because the VIX is at a key level of support, vice versa. I see the VIX running down, so I think that we have more room to go. Um, so with that being said, let's begin. Right now we have the S&P 500. We had a great day Monday. We broke through the buy zone right here, reclaimed the 200-day moving EMA, which I will actually show right here. Boom. We reclaimed the 200-day EMA with this candle closing at 441. We dropped down to about 439, right about 440, bounced off, and we rolled all the way to close to 450. Now we're getting to a really crucial zone right here. We're getting to that point where reclaiming the 50-day would be super bullish. So we're getting to this kind of buy sell zone, so area of indecision. So, and we're also getting to the point where the VIX is going to touch a key level of support. So I'm pretty sure it'll break through the 20-day moving. If it breaks through the 20-day moving, I'm looking at the 50 EMA right here, around 23. I want to say around $23 for VIX to potentially reverse up, and the market to touch around this area, which is about the same move and correlates. And then we're looking to possibly go short right here. So tomorrow I would be very careful taking calls. You could scalp something like get a 455 call, and you could scalp it all the way to about 452, maybe 453. But once you see that VIX start reversing, if it does on the 50-day moving, then that's when I would look to go short and potentially grab some 448 to 445 puts. Like I said, we're kind of still in a bad or I should say a downtrend. And if you draw the trend line real quick, hold on. Let me zoom out. If you actually draw this trend line from where we started dropping all the way to, probably like a straight line, and you bring it down just a little bit, boom, you can see right there is, where we're bouncing off. You can see straight line down. Right there is about where we bounce off. So I could see, like I said, somewhere in this range right here. And actually, no, not straight enough. Wait. There we go. So drawing a straight line down, you can see around this range is where we bounce off, is where we could potentially bounce off. But it breaks this, then we could potentially ride all the way, personally, to 460. And I wouldn't take calls above 452 unless the VIX breaks 2330 and it rides down to like 20. If it does that, then we can go to 460. Otherwise, if you see a reversal, I would take calls up to here, but mainly I would go short right here because I would expect a very violent sell-off to around 445. And that's pretty much my breakdown for SPY right now. Moving on, we have some notable earnings coming up this week and next week. So we have Amazon, Facebook, Google, PayPal. Google, PayPal, and GM reported today. So did EA. We got Spot, eBay, Sony, and Facebook tomorrow. And then we got Amazon on Wednesday, and we have Ford on Thursday. So those are kind of my most important. And we got QQuam on Wednesday or Tuesday as well. So just pay close attention to that. So those are going to be key factors on which way the market goes, especially if you see companies like Facebook miss. Then you could potentially see the market reverse in a negative way. Another one we got. So if we go to next week, so let me show y'all. I go to markets.businessinsider.com. If we go right here, I'd like to check next week's earnings as well. So what I'll do is, oh wait, let me go back. I click the 11th. So I like to check next week earnings because sometimes we get big moves leading into earnings. So what I like to do is, oh wait, oh come on, don't do that. There we go. There we go. Hold on. February 7th, all the way to February 11th. Seriously? Okay, there we go. So I mainly check my large cap. So we got Pfizer, 2.8. Oh, sorry, y'all. We have Pfizer, Toyota, Coca-Cola. You got Disney on 2.8. So look for Disney to make some type of move this week. Let's keep going. We got CVS coming up. Let's keep going. We have, just looking through, and this is what I usually do. I just look through for notable stocks, the more popular ones. Keep going. Let's see. Who do we have coming? I normally just do this. So I'll scroll through the list. I'll do an initial look through, and then we got a lot of earnings. Chegg, they used to be a big name. Probably not as big anymore. Man, we got a ton of earnings next week. Almost got to make sure I have the right. Oh wow, we have Eventbrite coming up, and I'll do more. I'll do a more refined search later, but basically, yeah, I'll go through and kind of just search some of the different earnings. We'll start with Pfizer, CVS, and yeah, we'll start with Pfizer, CVS, those real quick. So we'll go through and go back over here. Let's go with Pfizer. They should be on my list. Where are they? Let's look at Pfizer. So Pfizer right now had a good run up into earnings. I would look for a buy zone around 51. If we break 52, 50, we can ride down all the way to 51. I'd play 50 puts. Other than that, I wouldn't look too much into this. Just looking at some of the others, and we still look for inside bars and things of that nature. There was actually a really big one on SPY, inside with the outside bar. Let's look at Facebook real quick. So Facebook, we had an outside bar break with a continuation running in. Again, this is one of those where if it reclaims the EMA, we could see a ride all the way to about 320. But we can also say that I could potentially look to short right here around 316. So I will actually, if the market reverses, those are 316. I would look to short around probably somewhere in the middle, so around 318. So we'll look for the market to pretty much we'll look pretty much to what the market's going to be doing around this time, and we'll go from there. So I'll alert myself, and we'll alert crossing up that line, and that's how I set my alerts, guys. I set them, I get them on my phone, and we go from there. So that's Facebook. Again, I think we have more room. I think we can. I think 320 calls would be great. If you want to buy a little bit more out the money, probably buy like some 330 or 340 calls. I think those would be good all the way till about 315 to 318. And then from here, I think you should be cutting and switching to a short option in response to SPY. Again, if SPY doesn't hold 452 and the VIX holds 23.8. So just, keep those levels in mind because those are really important levels. Same thing, I think, with Amazon. Amazon's another one of those. When it runs, it runs. So, Amazon had a 100, almost 200, a 200 point move to the upside. I think we have even more room to run. I think Amazon can run, if not to 3,000, I think Amazon can righteously run all the way to 3067, which is still a great move before we look to short. And I think, honestly, some 2,700 lotto puts going into earnings would be very good. Cheap, probably going to get them around. Let me see what they're at real quick. Let me check on my laptop. On my phone real quick. What are Amazon 2700s at for, let's just say, the 11th? We'll buy time. Amazon 2700. Right now, those are at 16 for next week. Okay, let's go this week. You got some 2-4 Amazon 2700 puts are at 8 right now. If it can get to 3,065, 3,067, you could potentially see Amazon, those puts drop down to, 2-3. So if you want to play some super out of the money puts and get maybe Amazon 2700 or 2600, grab those puts at like 1.82. You could potentially ride those to ride those short for a couple days. I think all the way down to I'd say roughly 20. I say roughly 2950, 2900 before you start taking profit. Again, it just depends on what the VIX does, what the S&P does, how things work. Um, we're coming up on some really key levels on everything, and a lot of these calls, people are becoming so call biased. And one thing you want to always recognize: when people become super bullish, you might want to go bearish, and when people become super bearish, you might want to go a little bullish. So maybe we're getting a sympathy pop from dropping 80 points. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, we'll see what's good. Some other stocks that I'll be looking at: Nvidia. We had a really big rally today. We went from 229 all the way to 245. Finishing the day at 244.86. Again, I really think Nvidia can rally if we can get above 247. Nvidia can rally. Nvidia can rally to 250, 252, 253. I think it can anywhere almost to 257. I think Nvidia can easily rally above this mark, above that 248 mark. We can rally to 252 at minimum. That's a great play to look at. I would look at the Nvidia 270 or 280 calls for this week. That's some good lotto plays. Probably not worth too much. Let's see what those are worth right now. Let's go to Nvidia. Let's see the 270, 280s. Yeah, we're looking at We're looking at 270s right now are going for 0.48. I could easily see those touching one if we can get above 248. Um, if you want to play a little closer, you can grab the 260s for this week are at 1.5. I could easily see those 260s touching, close to 3 if you get them above 248. Again, it just depends on what the market wants to do tomorrow with VIX and everything else. Could bounce off the 20 EMA, could bounce off the 50 EMA, could drop all the way through. You just have to be prepared for all circumstances. And for the most part, that is what I'm looking at for next week. Nvidia, Facebook, or for tomorrow, Nvidia, Facebook, Amazon. I'll look at Spotify, Ford. I'm trying to think what else. I'll look at Lucid, and I will look at AMD. I'll look at AMD, and I'll look at MU. MU is another one. I'll be focusing on chips, and of course my usual suspects: Tesla. Those type of names. Just if I see good setups, if I see something I like, I'll call it out. Let y'all know. We're starting a $500 to 10, possibly 20K challenge. I uploaded money today. I'll be, keeping everybody updated. I should be starting it officially on Friday, but I'll be calling out trades for it starting tomorrow for people that want to follow. My main page, it'll be in my YouTube description. It is MOV Worldwide, Move Worldwide. My main page is at MoveMaker with 2 R's at the end. MOVEMAKERR. But other than that, just want to tell people be careful in this market because this market, as you can see, we can have a couple green days. It's super quick to reverse. So just be very careful about where you're entering and exiting. Keep your stop losses, tight, and take profits. This is a trader's market. There's nothing to be holding long term. You can see we can jump 20 points and drop 20 points and jump 20 points and drop 20 points all in the same day. So you just have to be really careful and understand that if you're up 30, 40, 50%, trim, take profits, leave a runner. I don't mind that. But just make sure that you set your runner for, have your runner with a trailing stop of, 30%, things of that nature. And other than that, that's all I got for my market breakdown for the week. This Move Maker, and I'm out.